Do you like to go and have a coffee? That's what I just did. I just grabbed my coffee. What else do you mean? Oh, I guess throw tech. Yeah, I didn't think about that. V reversal, yeah. I didn't really think about throw tech as a defensive option after you block a normal. I don't know. It depends on what the range of the normal. I was thinking about blocking a normal from far away. Team finished up last night. The last chance qualifier finished up last night. The top 8, right? The Southeast Asia Major top 8, which is the regional final for Asia, will be tonight. In about, I don't know, it starts at like, what time here? 10, right? So, like 9 hours or something, 8 hours.
I hope he's doing well wherever you are. If you are watching, Mike.
Delay tech is like playing rock and then paper right after. Yeah, delay tech is a good answer to a lot of things. It loses to throw baits, which is a very common situation. What happens if Tokido wins Seam? What happens to the rankings? Well, all that happens is that Tokido gets 400 points and he's auto-qualified even though he already has enough points. So they'll just drop down and get another player. It's not a big deal. MVCI top 8 starts at 9 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so in 4 hours. I'm not planning to stream that long anyway, so I'll probably watch it then. I'm planning to stream for maybe like 2.5 hours. So 4 hours is no big deal. Yeah, nothing really happens to the list. This is an interesting match. I feel like Itabashi is really good against Cammy. Even though I think Cammy played right is very hard to deal with. If you watch Kazunoko versus Itabashi, it's a good example.
Naruto 6'9" got like 2nd place.
That's not even a meme. Yeah. That's literally...
Man, that headbutt is rough. I think headbutt is one of the best counter pokes in the game because it crushes people hitting buttons into Zangief, right? Since it has priority, it's a heavy attack. It catches people who are hitting buttons, and Cammy's best buttons are mediums. So that's why against Cammy in neutral, it's good to hit heavy attacks a lot of the times. Because her best attacks are mediums, so if you collide at the same frame, you're going to be at advantage. The risk, of course, is that she whiff punishes you. Oh, shit. You thought this was one of Cammy's worst matchups? It's interesting. In Season 1... Damn, Xiaohai made a couple of really good reads right there. In Season 1, many people thought that Cammy won. Now, I'm not sure. Oh, shit. Both of them made some pretty tough reads.
Standing fierce anti-air. Never really see that. It gets clocked in the face. Trigger activated.
This time.
Yeah, just take the fierce SPD. He's one hit. Meaty roundhouse. Yeah, he can't really anti-air that. Zangief has trouble dealing with the TK drill like that. This is a really interesting round. We should probably watch this again. Back throw. That does a little extra damage. Oh, yeah, he can anti-air those. There was a cool read I liked at the start of this round. It was like right here. After this knockdown. He mashes out SPD, and it works because his move hadn't collided yet. Check this out. He quick rises, and he does the whiff knee, and he just instantly whiff punishes. He's like, look, man, that's not real. It's pretty interesting. Crushed him for trying to do something on Wake Up. It was an interesting round. What's a media? Media is an attack done to collide with your opponent right when they're getting off the ground. Right. Cammy still has Tiger Knee Drill. I thought it was minimal height requirement. Yeah, you can still do a TK input for a move that has a minimal height requirement. You just slow it down a little bit. Whiff punish. Yeah, it throws it. All right. I'll give you an example of a meaty when we see a knockdown. Damn, quit it, fella. So that's a good example. So this is a meaty here, right? This is an attack time to catch Itabashi right when his character is getting up off the ground, right? So it's as soon as Zangief is standing up, he's forced to deal with something. So if he would wake up button, or if he would wake up attack, Xiaohai's button is time to deal with that, right? So that's what it is. Meatying someone is hitting them as they rise off the ground, so that they can't do an attack first, right? I've been thinking about doing a series very recently. I'll talk about it after this match. Counter hit, he's dead. Jesus, he got picked up. What up, AJ? Oh, we missed his whiff punish. That's a really good buffer in this matchup. Down strong drill from Cammy. Yeah. He's doing a good job of waiting. He saw that Itabashi was going to hit buttons first. There's another meaty. Show it again, in case you missed it.
More kind of man one.
The season 1
Boom. Right, tag him right when he's getting up.
anti-DP in the super, but I've not seen him do that today.
What was my first Street Fighter game? The first one I watched and enjoyed and played a lot was Street Fighter 4 in vanilla. I didn't start playing a lot of Street Fighter 4 until Ultra, but I watched it from vanilla all the way through the end of the game.
Right outside the range of each other.
It was like my first love.
It's really been the other Camus of the world that have stepped up in this void.
But I played other fighting games or Street Fighters when I was younger. Damn, his whiff punishing is on point. He's just waiting and seeing, right? So Itabashi's got to be, he's got to change it up a little bit here. His style is clearly, wow.
Just dodging in and out.
Yeah, using that forward dash,
Brutal.
the low profile.
His style is clearly wait and see, and his style is moving a little bit too first. So he needs to start taking risks that are harder to deal with. If he's going to wait on the ground, you have to jump more or dash more to stop him, right? That's kind of the way to deal with it.
Instant thumbs up from Itazan. He doesn't care.
So I've been thinking about doing a series lately where I teach fighting game concepts across all games, because I feel like there is a disconnect in the community about watching games and enjoying them. And people struggle to understand a lot of the terminology that we as fighting game commentators and players and spectators use. A good example is people asking about taking turns, people asking about meaties in the chat, all those different things. So I was thinking about making a video series that teaches people how to watch fighting games and different terms and show examples of them in different games. So like neutral, right? If you think about neutral in fighting games, this is what it looks like in Street Fighter, right? Walking back and forth, hitting buttons, etc., etc. If you think about neutral in Tekken, it's like the movement, spacing, right? Backdashing in and out of range, etc., etc. If you think about it in Guilty Gear, it's jumping and air dashing and double jumping, jump FD to bait out anti-airs. There's all these other different things you're doing. In Marvel, it's putting out stuff on the screen, tagging, etc., etc. So there's different examples of neutral that all look wildly insane. And the only thing they have in common is it's the space on the screen that you're fighting in and trying to occupy before you turn into a different situation, like pressure or knockdown or set play or etc. Right. So that's what I was thinking about creating lately, and I think it would take a lot of effort, but I think it's something that we should probably look at.
Xiaohai does this as well. That's why he's keeping his distance, trying to poke away with the stand medium kick.
There's so many games and so many styles. That's like so much work. Yeah, I realized the same thing.
But so scary. It's Rio's back, sorry.
No, whiff punish. He could have done better, but I think he was committed to the medium kick. Double dash. Holy shit. Man, that move is silly. Roundhouse from Kami is such a good tactic on people's wake up because it catches them teching or hitting a button, right? And it recovers near instantly. There's a few characters that have similar moves to that. Yeah, it'd be a lot of work to do. But imagine if you're a player and you're mainly a Street Fighter player and you watch like Marvel or Guilty Gear or Tekken. Sometimes it's hard to appreciate each section of the game because you might not understand exactly what's happening, right? Like if you watch Guilty Gear or Marvel, you might be like, this just looks like a mess. How do I appreciate or understand the neutral here? You know, it's a little different. Oh, shit. Wow, I can't believe he went for that. One more for stun. Walk up SPD is for sure what he was going to go for. Yeah, because the risk is minor and the payoff is the round, right? In that scenario, that's what you go for, of course. Down jab, running, bear grab. And you just walk SPD, because if he's not going to neutral jump here. He might back jump, and if he back jumps, the risk is very low.
Another one. How far was he right there?
That was the maximum range.
No guess.
Another bear grab.
10 man, no guess.
Barreling down.
It's simple. It's simple enough that I wouldn't need any guess to do it.
That's what it looks like.
It's supposed to be simple.
Candidates out there.
I think that meme died. I haven't actually
I could do it solo.
Maybe like the police.
If there's yes, it's gonna take more time and it might be more complicated than it needs to be.
Some of those for the Corona stream.
You get your boy. You gotta get your boy doing.
Wow, what is it? What's the plan here?
IRL action.
Yeah, he made him sit still. That's actually really funny. I wonder if all those jabs was worth it for that hit. See the quadruple jabs? This made him sit still. He's like, what is this motherfucker doing? And he's just like, all right, cool. That's really funny. Hire a camera crew? I don't need a camera crew. I just need time to edit together and find enough examples of neutral in mini games and write the script. Whiff roundhouse again. Alright, so here's what's happened. Xiaohai, through all his insistent dashing, has conditioned him to start hitting buttons preemptively to stop it. See that? He doesn't want to deal with dashing anymore. So Xiaohai realizes, okay, he's hitting buttons to stop my dash. Now he can stick out buttons further away and buffer them in a drill to catch him poking. Right? See right there? He can stick out these buttons and buffer them, right? To catch his... Yes. So this is an example of how you condition someone to playing the kind of neutral game that you want to play. Right? He's changing the way Itabashi is playing neutral, and it all started right here. Right? Before this, he had done a bunch of jabs, and he dashed up and caught him, right? And the other round, he was doing dash up a lot too. But he's going for a lot more dash up, and he's making Itabashi preemptively hit buttons more, right? He's like, all right, I'm going to just dash up in his face and do stuff like, you know, whatever, right? So dash right there. Itabashi's like, all right, fuck this shit. This guy's dashing around like a maniac. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan. So because of that, he's going to stick out more buttons preemptively to stop the dash. Because reacting to the dash is super hard. You stick out buttons to beat it. So that's why he's going to stand over here, and he's going to start doing down jabs and strongs and fierces from way over there, just in case he dashes. So what he's doing is buffering normals into drill from super far away. He does it a few times before this, right? He low forward, stand strong. He's buffering drill, right? Buffering drill. Just in case he hits a button from super far away that runs into it. And that's exactly what happens. Down jab, buffer.
Complete neutral stance, and he's got that nice buffer from around the way.
He changed the way the neutral was being played, right?
This is still terrifying though. Again, it's another fierce. If he had V-trigger on
See, he's still going for it now, right? Now that he's buffering, now he can dash up. Oh my god, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful, isn't it? That's how fighting games work. Look at this. These buffers are making him not want to hit a button, right? Because he's like, all right, this guy is clearly buffering drill. He's waiting for me to do something, and he stops. He says, all right, I'm going to wait him out. He's going to buffer those moves. Eventually, he'll miss, right? And so that sets up the dash again. Right? Same thing that we just saw him do in reverse. He just switched it, right? He changed the way neutral is being played against a world-class player just like that. What is buffering? All right, so I'll give you an example of what buffering is. So what Xiaohai is doing here, when he sticks out this medium punch, is he is doing the motion for drill. So what he's doing is standing medium punch, drill. Now what happens is that drill input is there, but it's only going to come out if the standing medium punch is hit or blocked. Because you can only cancel a normal move into a special move if the move is blocked or hit. Right? It can't come out if you miss. If you miss, your normal won't come out. If you want to try what I'm talking about, just load up any fighting game and do a normal from far away and cancel it into a special move. You know what I mean? So that's what's happening here on the screen, right? He's inputting medium punch, and he's just doing drill, drill, drill every time. And if at any point Zangief collides with the medium punch, it'll come out, right? So that's why in this scenario, he's doing it so much. He doesn't even really think that it's going to hit. In this position, he's sort of just doing it to be like, hey, man, look, I'm buffering medium punch. So then Itabashi's like, I'm smart. I know what he's doing. I'm just going to wait, right? I'm just going to wait. And so because he decides to wait, he's setting him up here, right? He's setting him up with all these different medium punches. This is fakes. These are all fakes, right? If they work, they work, but they're really fakes. And dash up. How can he be prepared for that? He's looking at this, and he's thinking to himself, man, I should probably thank Brian F for subscribing to the channel, but then after that, I should stay blocking because I don't want to get hit by the whiff, and then that's when he goes in and takes the throw. Right? It's a good choice. This is all very smart neutral game by Xiaohai, and then he immediately switches it up by doing a dive kick, which we haven't seen him do yet, you know? That's like probably the coolest thing about this set so far. This adaptive neutral game by Xiaohai. Whiff punish. Right, he's really frustrating him here because what he does is he backs off and he waits. Because now Itabashi is thinking, okay, he's beating me in this counter buffer game. He's dashing up all the time. I'm going to hit a big normal and crush that medium punch he keeps hitting. But of course he's waiting. low forward,
Defense
drill.
so good as his buffer today is Xiaohai.
Right? Xiaohai is, yeah, he just died. He ran out of armor. Or ran out of life.
He was on steroids.
You see what I mean? So this is like a really, really good example of high-level neutral game, which many people will tell you doesn't exist in this fighting game, but, you know, clearly there's nothing here for us to look at. Nice whiff punish. Jeez. That buffer, man. That buffer is so powerful.
How did his armor last that long? It was like a white knight on Twitter. It just would not stop.
All right, Z, you got me.
Cosplayers. It's Obama on Twitter defending Big Samus.
Yeah, this is how you analyze neutral game, right? This is the kind of breakdown between these characters. There's sort of different styles of neutral, right? And that's what we're seeing here. So there's an article by Machabo, if you guys haven't read it. I talk about it all the time because it's probably one of the smartest things I've ever read. But yeah, there's an article about the 3 kinds of neutral game that you can play, and that's what you're seeing here. Got him. Damn. You see that? And then he backdashes. He was scared. He didn't know what was gonna go on. He needs 1 hit confirm into 1 whiff punish into super now. So any button, yeah, any of those buttons are really risky. From any big button from Itabashi is very risky. Right? Any of those, if they whiff, is the round. So if you're Xiaohai, that's what he's looking for. He doesn't want to buffer anymore. Really, right? He doesn't care about that. He's looking for those. Ah, that was a mistake. He didn't want to buffer anymore because he knew that all he needed was a whiff punish. Right. Now he knows. Now he knows he can threaten the air approach. Yep. That was a really smart way to do this. Because as soon as trigger is activated, you know that Itabashi is looking at the air, right? If you're Itabashi, you know his eyes are peeled right up here. Because he is thinking to himself, all right, Cammy is going to jump and drill. Right? That's what you expect. Jump, drill. So he is looking to beat that. That's what he wants. So what he does, he knows this, is he dashes on the ground. Because how can you be prepared for that if you're looking up here for the drill? That's when he does down strong, then he drills, and you see him jabbing down here. He was thinking about the ground still. He tried to lariat, but it was too late. He was too focused on the ground because he committed that jab. Oh, it's V-trigger buffer, actually. He tried to down jab V-trigger buffer. And then he just gets the kill. It set him up again, right? Xiaohai is playing on point. He's playing on point. He set him up. Itabashi panicked. Down jab, he over buffered the V trigger, and that'll do it. How am I what's it called? How am I drawing on these YouTube videos? It's just me on XSplit with buffer. If he did the buffer faster, he would have blocked. Yeah, but I think he panicked because he input the down jab and then just like over buffered because it was the heat of the moment. Jab buffers are really hard. Like, I think buffering a medium attack is already not always easy because you sometimes get the accidental input, right? But jab buffer, I think, is super hard, right? Like, that's what he's doing, right? Medium buffers, right? Medium buffers, which you can still make mistakes on occasionally. Right, so he sets them up, medium buffers. Now that the medium buffers are coming, you can see him slow down on the buttons a little bit. And then that sets up dashing, that sets up jumping. See, dashing. He wasn't ready for the first dash. He dashed twice, but he wasn't ready for the first dash because he is setting him up with a buffer. He's like, all right, I'm afraid of this normal. I don't want to move in, right? And that's when the dash works. If he had just dashed once, instead of dashing twice in his face, the first dash worked. Because look, by the time the first dash ended, Itabashi hadn't even started blocking. You see that? He hadn't even started blocking by the time the first dash was over. He wasn't ready. Got him. This is such like a classic way to play a ground game. It's really funny, right? Because now he sees like, all right, this guy is buffering medium punch constantly. So he walks up with a counter to medium punch, right? Which is roundhouse, right? He's gonna walk up and hit roundhouse to beat the medium punch. But that's when Xiaohai gets to go right under it with the low medium kick. He's changing the way the ground game is being played so constantly, and he's like one step ahead at all times. I like the knee. We haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, it's definitely the reason why
Ooh, no whiff punish. I don't know if he could have got that realistically. I'm glad he didn't even try it, honestly.
People said there's no footsies in Street Fighter 5, but look at perfect spacing everything. We saw a couple whiff punishes in the last round.
Oh, there's the missed buffer. That's the first time we've seen that, right? The first time we've seen that. The first time he's messed it up. Low forward, miss buffer.
Oh, boy. That was probably a mistake.
Wow, what a clean whiff punish. Yeah, wake up jab. I think he hasn't really tested him with wake up jab in a while, so I like that.
Return to favor. He's gonna play the clock now.
Nice. Just take the triple jab. Ah, good work. And he gets SPD, which builds him the most meter.
The maximum punish
So before that first neutral jump that Itazan did, I was expecting the entire DP. I feel like Season 1 Xiaohai would have hit that.
Yeah, I see many people talking about low-level play and how they could do something like what Xiaohai is doing at their own level of play. And they say, yeah, the guy I'm playing against just won't learn. If I sit there and do medium punch buffers and I try to dash up, well, he doesn't notice what I'm doing. So he's just going to, you know, keep doing what he's going to do. It's like, well, then just stand there and do medium punch buffer all day. Because if he doesn't know how to beat that, then why would you go on to the next decision? Knowing that your opponent doesn't learn is a valuable, or refuses to learn, is a valuable skill in fighting games. Everybody has seen that, right? You've watched a stream. You've all watched Brian F on stream, and he's been like, all right, this guy doesn't learn, so I guess I'll go back to my original game plan. You guys have all heard a player say that, right? Because sometimes players either refuse or just don't want to change their game plan. And if they're stubborn like that, then you say, okay, and you continue to do what's effective. Maybe he thought that was a forward jump. I don't know. Or maybe he thought it would reach. Yeah, he thought it would reach. If he stuck out a further button, he would have got him.
Way too late. Way too late.
Yeah, don't change your game plan before it's necessary. He's jumped back twice after a CA drill. Yeah, he doesn't really get too much else. Yeah, he did the roundhouse pretty late, but Itabashi played it slow. And the autocorrect V reversal. Now Xiaohai has to work. He can't really do the same game plan he was playing on the ground because he has such a big deficit. I don't think he realizes. He's playing kind of rushed. I think he wants to play a little faster than he was before, and he is going to commit to low risk buttons like down jab, right? He's not going to hit anything too risky, probably. Although it's Itabashi, you never know with this guy. Yeah, nice and safe, right? Jab, jab, jab. Down short jab. Like real safe, low commitment buttons. Use the V reversal when there's any danger. Nice work.
Dissuading Xiaohai from approaching from the air.
Yeah, when you're in that position against Zangief.
Your problem is you feel guilty when you repeat stuff. Why should you feel guilty because your opponent can adjust? If there's something they don't know how to beat, then that's what you should use to beat them. You know, you play against players who are clearly super good, but don't know how to handle something very simple, then that's something abusable that you can use against them. Everybody has weaknesses. No, no whiff punish. I think he should have done Fierce. I think Fierce would have got him here. Right? I think Fierce would have hit right there. Low medium kick's too low to the ground. Yeah, there's none of us are knights at a round table, right? You don't need honor. Honor doesn't matter. Wow, raw drill. Yeah, that was good hit confirm actually. I like this range from Xiaohai. I don't think it was a good idea to go in too hard, even though there was stun. I think risking yourself against Gief is like yes, that's the #1 way you die. Nice work. This is a really clean round. Right? He moves back to the perfect range here to whip punish that Fierce. He's been doing that on defense a lot because he really wants to trigger.
Beautiful stop. Right out of the vein.
So, get busy committee asks at Sajam, why is there constant bitching that there's no neutral in SF5 when you spent 30 minutes analyzing a match like this? You know, people really... There's a couple of reasons. For one, most people would rather just say this game doesn't have any neutral instead of trying to see that there is neutral in the game or appreciate neutral that exists, right? People will make up excuses. Wow, look at this one. Because of the input delay. Are you talking about the neutral here? Come on, bruh. What year is this? Most people would rather just kind of admit that they don't like the neutral in the game, or say maybe they think there's something wrong with it, but they don't understand exactly why. But also, to understand neutral at a high level, you have to know, right? You have to know what's happening on the screen. I mean, it's hard to analyze something and see the skill in it if you don't really understand it. But also, they're used to the neutral of Street Fighter 4. It looked a lot different, right? The neutral of Street Fighter 4 is a little bit more rigid and a little bit more slow a lot of the times. You know what I mean? If you remember what Street Fighter 4 looked like in a lot of matchups, not all of them, because a lot of matchups were dumb too, it was a little bit more rigid and a little bit more slow. So it's easier to find the high level neutral in there because it's slower and it's in front of you. This game, the speed is much faster, and so finding the neutral is a little bit harder. It's sort of like when you watch Guilty Gear or when you watch Marvel, it might just look like a clown fiesta on the screen. You're just like, look at all this shit happening. There's no way either of these guys are playing neutral or footsies. And, it's just different neutral than what you're used to. Right? So that's all it is. You have to do more things in this game. You have to make more decisions faster. And whether people like that or not is up to them, right? It's just different than Street Fighter 4. Yeah, also that's a great point. Neutral, damn, that was good. Neutral is not also just walking back and forth and whiff punishing people. There's a weird obsession with whiff punishing now. There's a weird obsession that if you don't whiff punish all the time, you're bad at neutral, right? That's like a weird kind of players latch onto it because whiff punishing is the most simple thing to understand, right? Whiff punishing is the most simple thing to understand in fighting games. If you see a whiff punish, you know what happened. You know that an attack missed and another opponent got an opportunity. It's the simplest thing to understand. So most people will latch onto whiff punishing. It's because the one thing that they understand. They're like, I know what whiff punishing is. So every time they see a whiff punish, they know what it is and they know why it was good. But they also maybe don't understand stuff like buffering. They don't understand fishing for counter hits in neutral. They don't understand other kind of important tools or ideas that you have to do in neutral. So to them, they might just be like, well, he got whatever, I guess. Okay, he got a hit. Well, he got this, whatever. Okay. Oh, there was a whiff punish. Man, that was a sick whiff punish. His whiff punishing is the best. You know what I mean? So that's why a lot of people will often sort of think about that way. Yeah, anti-airing is another thing that people will understand, right? Anti-air is another thing that when you see it, it just makes sense. It's the simplest and most easy thing to understand in neutral. Something like why Xiaohai is standing there buffering down medium punch. This is something that people might struggle with a little bit more, especially if they don't play fighting games. They might not know exactly why he's doing stuff like this. Right? They might not understand exactly why that is as impressive as it is. And they might not understand why that means that Xiaohai can forward dash in Itabashi's face, and Itabashi won't be ready for it, and that is also neutral. Neutral isn't just whiff punishing, you do a normal, I do a normal, right? Neutral is also understanding the kind of different ways your opponent is thinking. Okay, that article that I mentioned, someone posted it, the what's it called? The article from Machabo. He talks about the 3 pillars of neutral, and one of them is hitting a button preemptively to beat people doing stuff. This is what you see with characters who have really strong, far-ranging normals, right? If you see a Cammy player stand there and just hit standing medium kick over and over and over, why do you do that? It's because the button will preemptively beat a lot of things, right? And you do it because you think your opponent's going to move into it and get hit. The second example of playing neutral is waiting to see what your opponent does and counterattacking. So that will beat Cammy hitting medium kick. So if Geef thinks, all right, Cammy is going to just hit medium kick over and over, I'm going to walk forward into the Cammy's medium kick range, walk back, and then hit standing light kick lariat to whiff punish, right? So that is the second pillar of neutral. The third, yeah, somebody also says Urian standing fierce, right? If Urian's standing there hitting fierce over and over, it's because the move is good at beating buttons preemptively and stuff, right? The third pillar is doing stuff that beats reactive players. The reactive player is the player who's waiting to see you whiff the medium kick, then doing stand short lariat. So that is the dash forward that Xiaohai does to beat Itabashi waiting for him. You know what I mean? So those are the 3 examples, and we've seen all 3 of them in this match already, right? That's what's made this match that's why the neutral in this match is so fun to watch, is because you're seeing all 3 of those things, and the players are rotating. Like, right, Xiaohai might be right here, and then he switches to this one, and Itabashi might have been here, and he switches to this, or switch to this, or they're constantly changing the way they're playing on the ground, and that's what's so interesting about the match. And understanding that is much harder than, wow, that Urian hit Fierce and got a full combo with crush counter. This game sucks.
Another whip punish here.
Ooh, perfect dash.
This is a repeat of what we saw in that last round.
See? Damn, he just hit Fierce and he killed him. This game sucks.
Let's see. Ooh.
Oh, yeah, the OS.
Yeah, he sounds so good at calling out people trying to jump, but
What's funny, too, is that many people will point at that Fierce and say, man, crush counters are so stupid. Look at how much damage he got of that. But if you count up the damage that Xiaohai got on whiff punishing that Fierce, right? If you count the damage that Xiaohai got on whiff punishing the Fierce, that the over-under is so much in Xiaohai's favor, it's crazy. Dash forward to beat a reactive player seems kind of odd. Isn't he waiting to react? Why should dash in a bad situation for the reactive player? Because the reactive player is focused on something. The reactive player is either looking for a button, a particular button to whiff punish. He's either looking for your jump, right? He's sitting there, like if, let's say in this instance, Itabashi is the reactive player and he expects Xiaohai to jump dive kick. So his eyes are looking right up here. And he's thinking to himself, Xiaohai is going to jump and dive kick. So I'm waiting for the dive kick. I know you're going to dive kick. And then Xiaohai forward dashes on the ground. You will not be ready to counter the forward dash on the ground if you're looking at the sky thinking to yourself, I'm going to anti-air this dive kick. When suddenly he dashes, you're going to be like, oh shit. There's that moment where you go from thinking about the anti-air to the dive kick to, fuck, he just dashed, my answer is, and it's too late. It's already too late. And you can't commit your brain to react to dashing, buttons, and anti-air at the same time. Some of the best reactive players in the world will be able to do 2. Maybe on their very best day, they can do 3 at a time if they're on some shit or if their character has an answer to all of those things with one choice. But it's very rare that your character will have a good answer to all 3 of those things. His answer to the jump will be lariat. His answer to the dash will be down jab, right? His answer to the whiff punish will be standing light kick lariat. How could you possibly have all 3 of those things queued in your mind and ready to do at the same time? It's not possible, right? You have to pick one or the other. You could maybe do the jab, the down jab to the dash, or the standing light kick to whiff punish. You could also maybe do down jab to check the dash and look for the anti-air, but then you couldn't whiff punish, right? There's something that you can't do at the same time. Your brain won't be able to do it all at once. And that's why the way to beat the reactive player is to do something they don't expect. Not necessarily always forward dash. Sometimes it's jump. Sometimes it's go back to playing, switch your style, go back to playing neutral. It always depends. Yeah, Ultra Instinct is being able to react to everything. If you could do that, if you could play reactively and stop everything, then that's Ultra Instinct and you should just go fucking play in the tournament right now. You should be in the tournament of power. So that is why dash is the answer.
Fishing for headbutt, trying to get something. But he's going to have to go in another.
I'll explain the last chance qualifier after this match. We'll get back into some more analysis. Oh, Jesus. Why did Xiaohai walk all the way forward there? He believed in his pressure that much. He has been doing reversal fierce so many times already. Yeah, back up, let the stun gauge replenish. Alright, now you'll die even before you get stunned, so you can go back to playing normal. This is buffered into drill or trigger for sure. And that's why he backs off. He's like, I don't even want to be in the range where that could hit me. I'm just going to back off to right about here. You see that? Swinging was strong as a whiff punish. Or as like, this is the reactive style now, right? He's gone from playing like a style where he has to do stuff to the reactive style. And he now has to figure out a way to crack it. So there it is. He has tried to walk up and do something multiple times, and he's done a button every time. So now it's time for Xiaohai to change his pressure. Right? He's not playing the same pressure he needs to anymore. He needs to change it up.
The good news is Xiaohai did not have to spend any meter there. Even though he lost, he didn't waste anything, so he's going to his final round with 3 bars.
Back to the buffer game. Fierce. Now flex. I like that he's doing more flex too. Flex is another thing that you have to handle in the neutral. Same series. He just did that, and he doesn't know an answer. So now I think he's like, all right, I should just run this until this guy runs out of solutions.
Just walking forward and pressing buttons. He's already been able to
There's the throw. That's the answer. That beats him waiting and seeing, right?
That back throw completely reverses the situation. Oh no.
Reset into throws.
And this time he stays in. This time he doesn't walk away.
Oh shit.
He should have.
Yeah, Xiaohai, he did that before. We talked about that earlier, how he backed off and played at this range instead of moving into that range. There's a difference. The difference between playing this range, maybe like right here, is way more risky than the range of like right here. A few pixels away makes the range a lot less dangerous for Cammy, right? This range is much, much safer than that range. This range is fucking terrifying, actually. That's why he walked back. See that? The difference between those ranges are massive, and you don't want to be in the middle ground.
Again, it's going to be the lack of anti-air from Itabashi.
Yeah, you really can't anti-air that as Zangief. It's very difficult. Lariat is not a good answer to the quick dive kick unless you do it hella preemptive, and even then it might lose. See him playing nice and safe now, reactive style. He's looking for reaction. Reactive style. He needs to crack the reactive style, which is probably Itabashi's best skill. He's really good at dealing with players who turtle up on him. Ah.
The one moment that he flexed.
That was a very stressful match. And think about how long that match was. People talk about the fireworks of Street Fighter V, but that was 15 minutes for 4 matches, right? Very slow-paced match and a very interesting one.